Hello, how's everybody doing? This is Pierre Dur, and I'm doing another. I'm doing another. What am I doing? I just got finished cleaning the house. I always have to say something about just personal things or whatever because I want you to know that just some more about me. So because to see just like to show that I'm just like everybody else. I just got finished, and plus I've known you for so long. I mean, I miss everybody. I'm coming back to this ex-Jehovah Witness tape. So I do miss my Jehovah Witness tape, and I know time goes by, and then I haven't did it in a while, and then I have to do another Jehovah Witness tape. But it's always in my mind, and they get more difficult and more complicated. Because like in the beginning when I was doing the Jehovah Witness tape, it was just like point one, point two, and point three. Well, at first what I was doing is I was doing notes. If you follow, I know some people follow all of the things, and I thank them for that. And I want to get something special for those people. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I know. But anyway, I appreciate that the people that stuck with me and everything. So anyway. Okay, so I remember the way I was doing it first. At first, I was writing down things. If a lot of people know me, they know that I continue. If you follow my station, you see that I continue to renew things. Not renew, but I do better. That's the whole point of the of my station. And some people ask me, some of my friends ask me, I don't really have close friends like I really did when I was younger. When you're older, it's harder for friends because people like don't cling to you and people don't like look for you. But when you're younger, it's like everybody's there, you know what I mean? So I don't have as many like close friends. But I was saying that my friends that I have, I mean, they would tell me like maybe you should do this or maybe you should do that, but a lot of them don't understand the point of my station, and that is, and a lot of people could do it too, but you have to really believe in yourself, and you have to really have something to do a station like mine because you have to see it in your mind that you progress, that you continue to progress, and I'm gonna show you progress in this and it's sticking together with everything else that you did. So I'm going to show you that in my station. But I was saying is that they asked me, they go like, maybe you should do this, or maybe you should do this, or maybe you should take, like for instance with the music, they go, maybe you should, like in the beginning, sometimes I would go off flat. Okay, I'm telling you myself first, and I knew that I wasn't going to do that all the time because I knew I had to find it. Okay, secularly, you could, and how can I say secularly and academically, things are on paper and you put them in your mind. But what I'm doing with the station is I want to find what the talent is that allows people not to do this, like for instance, not to go off key, or or not to have to teleprompt yourself or something like that. So what I do is I find that, and I know that I can find it if I work really hard and if I stick to it. So what I'm saying, a lot of people don't understand that. So they say, why don't you do this in the beginning? Why don't you do that? And now they're saying like, oh, wow. Now he got that point. Even with like the guitar, which is very difficult. The guitar, I knew I had the talent to do certain things. And what I was doing in the beginning is that the way my talent is that I can pick up everything. Okay, I can follow everything. But like everybody has like a format, which is very good. So more people can like you. So I didn't stick to a certain format because I wanted to know what's in the format. How is the format formed? Okay. And for the people who know my station, they can follow me. Okay. So what I'm saying is that now I'm at a position when I started numbering, like for instance, the guitar pieces, I noticed that I was finding the formula for the format that everybody else uses. Okay. And so those things like that is what this station is about. And like my Jehovah Witness tapes is I started out, like I said, I was taking notes. Then I started points. Like for instance, point 1, point 2, and point 3, and I would cover the points. And then there's transitions. And like during the last 2 years, I say the last year, there was a lot of transitions. So during transitions, you're kind of sketchy. And the only people that can really figure out what you're doing and what you're saying is the ones who have listened to the former tapes or former videos. And that's what the station is about. Because I do have one thing I do have, which is very great. When I do get a chance to look at certain people get to respond to me, and they tell me, your station is like, how can I say? So many people, 2 or 3 people told me this, and that's all I need to know is how can you do when I binge. One person said, I binge watch your station. I mean, I binge it. That means like they go from one to the next to the next. They got that, they know what it's about, and they can see that it's developing. I heard it again. Another one was saying that you got to go from the beginning to see what's happening now. That was another one. And another one said, your station is underrated. I don't know why it doesn't have as many but that's the way it's going. The reason why I don't complain about anything is because I'm still in the process of showing this ultimate thing, okay? This ultimate learning. I don't know if things got to be in the music or whatever. But now we're getting back to the Jehovah Witness tape, okay? I just wanted to tell you how I was doing. I was doing all right. I just, I changed my whole wardrobe. Like I told you before, more plain and things that I could just like wear all the time. And I don't have, because I'm doing so much mentally, I'm totally not into which I do like fashion and stuff, but I don't have. Now I'm into, I want, I mean, if I were to get in fashion, it would be these designers that I really like. And I've found the ones I like, but it's too expensive now. So what I'm doing, because I can't do that now, is that I just go plain, everything plain, very plain. And so I did that, I changed my whole wardrobe. I just finished, I came back, I study all the time. I'm studying for a music thing now, I already told you that. And I just got back home, I cleaned the whole house. I just had to clean. Even though I'm supposed to clean tomorrow, though, I'm not supposed to do anything because my first day off, I don't do anything. But I do a lot of things, but I usually don't clean, but I had to clean because I have so much cleaning to do. And I'm always going over this ex-Jehovah Witness tape. I have a lot of points that I'm going over, but now it's in the form of, it's like this point, I found this point. Now I'm at the point to where I discovered some things, okay? And that's what this one is about. It's more like a discovery, okay? And I could never do it if I didn't do all the other things, which my listeners help me, because if you're listening, I have somebody to talk to, you know what I mean? And so now it's like discoveries. And this is the one thing I found out. I don't know how I'm going to put it on the, I don't know how I'm going to put the title yet. Because after I do the video, sometimes I have the thing in mind, but I usually like to make the title of it after I finish or while I'm talking. And this one is about the Bible, which I told you I'm very, can I say adamant? Not adamant, but I like to break things down. Um, I do break things down. I'm just these little stories I tell you. I'm not supposed to say stories, but this is something that happened to me in school, and I remember because I break things down so much, I don't really count too much on a lot of large vocabulary words, which is very good, and I always learn them. Um, but one time I turned in a paper and I broke everything down. And I think my teacher got dizzy. So she was saying that when you break things down, it's actually more. It's more. How can you say intellectual? It makes your mind do things because your mind has to go here, it has to go here, it has to go there. If you use a big word, it's just a sum of things. Okay, but I'm not down in big words. But anyway, so like I said, I had to break things down. So I got to come to that point. What I was actually wanted to say about breaking things down. But anyway, I broke this. How can I say this? Because now we're talking about the title. And what I wanted to say is it's about the Bible, okay? And I've always talked about the Bible. But this is something that I've been working on for a long time. And I knew I had to do a Jehovah Witness YouTube. And it's very serious. And the point is being made is that there's only one Bible. And I don't know how I'm going to put it, but there's only one Bible because I was thinking, and the points are always there. That's why you have to continually go over and over and over everything that we study. Because if you think about it, the only thing that we deal with is translations, okay? It's got so many beautiful points. I don't know if I'm going to say them all. But there's so many different translations. Okay, there's so many different translations. And the Jehovah Witness, okay, well, I'm going to say this. They use the term Bible, although their Bible or whatever they used, the corrupt thing that they use is called the scriptures, but they always say Bible, okay? So, because there's only one Bible, and I'm gonna tell you an example of how there's only one Bible first. Wherever state you live in, there is a concrete state which everyone has. Like, for instance, okay, let's say I was born in New York, Buffalo, New York. That's Buffalo. How real is Buffalo? Well, how real is New York? Okay. How real is the United States of America? Okay. Although I don't even call them concepts, but they are physical things, okay? It's so big that it can't be put in one sentence. It can't be explained in one sentence. It's explained in all these things that we do. So I'm saying there's a New York. There's a Buffalo, New York, where I was born, okay? But it's not tangible, but it's a definite thing. Without there's all the tangible things fit into this Buffalo, New York. All the houses, all the chairs, all the stores and everything would not exist without this Buffalo, New York. Okay? So you say you got all these tangible things, but what is it that's really more real? Buffalo has to be more real than all the material things that you can put in it. Okay? The same thing for New York. Some people already know where I'm going to. But everybody who was born in Buffalo, New York, that means there's only one Buffalo. All my brothers and sisters were all born in Buffalo? Yes. All my brothers and sisters were born in Buffalo, New York. okay? But does that make it like 7 Buffalo, New Yorks? No, it's only 1 Buffalo, New York. We all used Buffalo, New York. We all were born in the Buffalo, New York, but there's only 1 Buffalo, New York. And there's only 1 New York. And Buffalo is in New York. And without New York, there wouldn't be Buffalo, okay? So now we're going to the Bible. So New York is actually more real. You can't touch it. It's not that you can't touch it. It's because it's so big. Okay, it consists of so many things. Okay, and for it you need thousands and thousands of people to make this New York work. Okay, but you could even go to California and everybody knows about New York. Okay. And that New York that everybody knows in California is also the same New York. So now we're going to the Bible. There's only 1 Bible. Okay. And we only have translations. Okay. And this one can get really, really deep. So I'm maybe not finished on this one, because I want to keep working on it. Now I just work on it and get this point and get this point and get this point. Okay, so now we have the Bible and the Jehovah Witnesses, the empire of false religion, which really they are. They say Bible. As soon as they say Bible, they're using the same exact Bible in their minds that everybody else is using. As soon as they refer to the Bible, that one Bible, the one Bible, okay? As soon as they say that one Bible, as soon as they say Bible, and you know how many times they say Bible, okay, and they use it, they're saying they believe in the Bible. They're actually saying, if they say they believe in the Bible, that means they believe in everything in that one Bible, okay? That means if they find out something real about the Bible, okay, they're going to have to accept it. That means that they accept the real Bible, not translations. As soon as you say Bible, you're saying, if you say you believe in the Bible, that means that you believe in that one Bible. And everybody has the one Bible, but it's translated. And this is a point that people think that God is stupid for some reason, or he's off way in somewhere and he doesn't know what's going on. So he made the system like that. It took me a long, long time to not figure it out, discover this. I'm going to say discover this because it went deep. And I tell you, I keep going and going and going. So, what about the Jehovah Witness Bible? Well, they say Bible. If I say New World Translation, I think they call it New World Translation of Holy Scriptures, okay? They say that's a Bible, okay? So as soon as they utilize the word Bible, they're discounting their translation, okay? And they're using the same Bible as everybody else. They're using that. It's not a concept. It's real. It's real, just like saying New York City. It's real. Okay? So, everybody's translations, the sum of everybody's translations, that means that you can go through translation to translation to translation to translation to translation. And they all have to have some kind of unity. If they don't have the unity, then it's not closest to the real Bible, the Bible that everybody talks about. This is the major point that I want to make, okay? It goes deeper. I think I'm not going to go as far as I have gone, because I want that to sink in. Okay, so that means they only have a translation just like everybody else's, but everybody else has a chance to look at more translations, and the Jehovah Witnesses only look at one translation. So they're not really being honest with their people because they're talking about the Bible, okay? Another point is they're not being honest with their people because they're not saying we only have a translation, our translation. But the only way that you can, the closest, the more translations you read, the more closer to the Bible that you get. Of course, God helps us. Jesus helps us. That's one thing about the Bible. And that's another thing that they're going to have to realize. But they can't discount. They can't say that, well, our Bible is better or our translation is better, because there's no such thing. Why is there no such thing? Look at language. Okay. I'm studying French. How many French people there are? How many ways of studying French do you have? Okay. And you're saying, and the Bible has to be bigger than the language, because in the Bible it tells you how the languages were, just how the languages came about. Okay. So that means that there was a point in time where we didn't even speak a language. I mean, there wasn't a language. I'm not saying there was, that means there was no language. I mean, there was no language. I guess I could say, can I just say there was dialects, I would have to say. I mean, and you would think that a dialect would come over language, but there would be different dialects. I mean, there was no confusion about what people were saying. And I know it's true because I studied this, and I'm the type that didn't really study the language, but what I've studied was what understanding. Like, for instance, and you can only do this if you're learning a language and then you're comparing it to your language. But when I started understanding Spanish and understanding French, I was cognitive of it, can I say, of what was going on. Whereas if you just know, if you're a child and you just know like 6 languages, you can't really like see what happened or what happened while you were learning them. Okay, with an older person, you can see what's happened. As I can see what's happening when I'm going from one language to the next. And it's like magic, but it's just like understanding. It's like I didn't understand Spanish, okay? It was hard for me to understand. Then when I kept working, because I work with people who speak Spanish all the time, and I noticed when I started understanding them, it went in this place of understanding, just understanding, okay? Like, for instance, I'm speaking English, and I just understand somebody who speaks English. And when the things that I understand in Spanish, it goes right to understanding. It just goes right to understanding. So I'm saying with the languages, okay, a language is not as big as the Bible. So we have all these translations, okay? But the more translations that you read, the more that you accept, the more you can actually see what the real Bible is about. But the Jehovah Witnesses are not allowed. They can say that they're allowed, but they're not really allowed to render other understandings of other translations of the Bible. So that's one point I would like to tell them, is that, do you understand? And they would not listen because they're controlled. Their mind is controlled. So they would not listen to the point that, do you understand that you only have a translation? If anybody can speak to any Jehovah Witness that has some kind of open mind and get a response from them and say, did you know that you just have a translation of the Bible. There's only one Bible, and you just have one translation. It's not your Bible. And then do they understand how the Bible comes about? And they depended on the people who believe and worked really hard to get the Bible put together, okay? So did they know that we're all connected? Oh, there's another point I want to say. This is the point that brings everything together. If I don't forget it. Oh boy. The point that brings and it's there, and it's something deep. What was it? This one I have to find. Like I was saying, it's only one Bible. Oh, this is it. There's only, here it goes. It's there. There's one. Oh, okay, there we go. We share information. That's what started this thing about the Bible. Is the fact, and it's going to go into another tape because it's too deep. We share, like for instance, we utilize the same space all the time. Try and, like for instance, like if you're working together and all of a sudden everybody's trying to get to the same area, notice that's one space. We all share it. But we also share, when I say space, like air and things like that, what's in the air, we utilize that together. But we also share, we share knowledge. We already know we share knowledge. But we use the same information, okay? We utilize one information tank, let's say. It's one information tank. And that's why we have to trust certain people. This is going into a deeper section, but then I'm going to cut this off. But this is what really got me just showing that there's only one Bible. We share information. Like, for instance, if I learn something, which I learned a lot of things on this YouTube, and we share it. I share it with somebody. Once I expose it to somebody else, they got it instantaneously, and they can apply it to themselves. That's why there's one of this, okay? So that's where there's only one Bible, okay? It goes deeper, but I'm not going to put it in this one. But the other point I wanted to say, and where this came from, is that we share information. There's problems. The problem that can arise from this is the fact that you have people who know that we share information, and there's a one of certain things, of everything, big things like the Bible, okay? There's one, okay? Like in New York, there's one, okay? And if you get another one, you have to say New York, like there's a York, and then now there's a New York. But we have to trust people. Because, like, for instance, I remember, like, when I found out that there was New York, there was another York, and now there's a New York, okay? But they were being honest with you. They didn't just call this York and then that York, okay? And then it's not being nice to actually just say, oh, this is York too, okay? So that's not really being nice. So there's a lot of people who are not being nice because a lot of people don't have time. Especially if you're a hard worker like me or us. We have to trust certain things, okay? And this is what I'm going to end with. The reason why I know this is because there's people in that... Let me show you. I want to explain something about myself. When I was coming up, there's certain things, and this is what I'm perfect at. That's why I can say it. There's things that I found that wasn't right, that something's missing, okay? I remember in the Bible, and I've met a lot of people who just love the apostles and they love the people in the characters in the Bible and Jesus and stuff like that. But I was saying, even I had a problem. Not that I had a problem with Jesus, but I wondered about some things, and now I understand. But one of my major points, and it's not bad, but this is how my mind works. It's the fact that how in the world can people, and I didn't say it negatively, I just needed to know this, have an affection for these people if there's no connection, okay? And when I came up with that, like I said, and I don't forget the things that I don't know, okay? And I just add to it until I find out the point through my life. And another point is I notice in history, and it's not perfect either, like I said, we needed people that we could trust. But if we don't get those people that we can trust, we just have to deal with what we have. And I dealt with what we have, but I keep the log. It's a log, okay? And it's in my mind. It's a log. It's a pretty big log. And it's an important log because I stopped and I go like this. Wait. This is how I'm in my mind. Wait, I have these people who are so intense for the love of these certain people, but why would that be? Okay, like that. And that would be a log. And as I go through my life and go through experiences, I add to it or I subtract. Okay. Then there was another point. It's like the Jews that knew Jesus and witnessed the real witness. And what I found out is it wasn't like, and because I'm not going to go to points that I can't draw out. But I would say, wow, they say congregations. That means that there were these people, and then this congregation, and this congregation, and this congregation of Jews who witnessed Jesus, that lived when Jesus was born, and they were witnessed to, and they were witnessed to, and that's a lot of people. And then I also put together the fact that I had this professor in college, and he explained to me about everything connects, and I put it in a log. And he asked me a question. He goes, so, because we were talking about, militias, and it was in Spain, and how people couldn't fight certain people, and then certain people can fight, and win. And he goes like, so could these people retaliate, not take over? And I go, no, they couldn't take over because it was specific, but I'm not explaining you the specifics about it. No, they couldn't take over because they don't have enough people. And could these people take over? No, these people could not because they don't have numbers. And then how about this? Yes, they could take over because they have a numbers of people. They can. And they're organized. And they would be able to do it. Okay. So anyway, then I put in my log. And I connected it with the fact that during Jesus' time, especially when Jesus passed away, they went from congregation to congregation to congregation to congregation. It was a lot of people, okay? Then there was another thing I put in my log, was the fact that, if the point doesn't leave my point, was the fact that they're so deep that I had to go so deep to get them. These people and these people and these people. So, oh yeah. So, why? Oh. So why would these people Oh, okay. So because I have to, I see it in my mind, and it's not in. It's like I was talking about language. It's not in a language. It's in like, I don't know, like structures or something. It's in structures. So I have to go into the structure and get it. And okay, so I see the people. Okay, there's people. I'm just doing this to translate so I can get it to you. So there's people, and there's congregations. That means like churches, people. Okay, now all of a sudden I go in time and I see that something's missing. That was in a log that I put down. How in the world can we go from here and there's these people that exist, and then all of a sudden they're not there anymore? And what I was talking about is the congregations that Jesus, the people that knew Jesus, and the people that witnessed his time and era, and they gossiped about him and they talked about him. How in the world can we go through all these people and then all of a sudden in history they don't exist? Like they got rid of all these people. What happened to them? And there was a lot of congregations. A lot. I mean, like so many. And they were witnessing here. It's all in the Bible. They witness here. They witness here. No numbers, but it's the big numbers because they had to travel long distances to get to certain ones, But then all of a sudden, and I explained it to you before, but you have to find it. And I'm not going to stress it here again. But all of a sudden, these people are missing, which is impossible. I'm just telling you that was another thing that I had to make a log for. What happened to these people, all of these people? And then all of a sudden we go to the Catholic Church and the Holy Roman Empire, and they just like, all these people are gone. It doesn't, and certain people want you to believe that they all passed away or whatever, but that's not true, because in order for us to be alive, there has to be people before us. That means, like, if you're alive today, you had somebody before you, and you had a family before you, you had a family before you, you had a family before you, and you had a family before you, and you had a family before you, and you had a family before you. It has to go all the way back in time. I mean, like, for instance, Noah. Or is it Noah that I'm talking about? Abraham? No Abraham, then there's no people, okay? Okay? And it goes all the way back, okay? And no human is in control of it. Only God can control who lives. I mean, which families continue and which families don't continue. But just like God promised that there's certain people's families that will live. If all the families back then lived, it would not be the same today. Okay? But that's how that's what they call shepherding. So he shepherded us to here, okay? But like I'm saying, there's points in time to where there's somebody we have to trust, and the people that we trust didn't really do a good job, because they have like nations of people which just disappeared. And then all of a sudden, so what happened to all these people who were in the Bible? Oh, they just disappeared. And that's not true. So it gets deeper. The only thing I'm saying is that we were supposed to trust certain people with certain things. Like, for instance, the Bible, I just realized that there's only one Bible. And I had to go by what I've learned. And now I'm at the point to where to say there's only one Bible. So if there's only one Bible, if you really want to know the Bible, if you really say you believe in the Bible, that means that you believe in that one Bible. And you know that there's a translation, and you believe in that one Bible. It gets deeper, but it's as far as where I'm going to cut. So the Jehovah Witnesses, where they're not in a very good position with the one Bible, because they're saying that out of all the and not just that, but their translation, it appears that their translation is from a translation. Okay. Why? I don't. Then we already know about what happened there. So there are people that we have to trust, and I would have to say that God is in control of our translations. If he loves us, I'm sure that he's in control of our translations. But do the people who do the translations, do they pray about it? Or do they just want to make up something for themselves? Well, in order to make up something for this is the last point. In order for us to make up things, we have to isolate things. Like, for instance, when you discover something or when you want a medication or whatever, you have to control things. It's called a control. And in a control, you control everything that's happening in this situation. So I'm saying the only way to get away from the fact that there's only one Bible is that you have to take something, and it will be illegal, and control it. And that's what the Jehovah Witnesses have, which you can see now that it's wrong because it's only one Bible. But as soon as they say Bible, as soon as they believe in the Bible, it's a Bible that they can't touch. I mean, it's like New York or a name or the United States. They can't touch it. They can't do anything to it. The only thing that they could do because it's so big, is to make their own translations and, how can I say, and lie or scam people saying it would have to be a lie. So now you can see what point I made. So this one is going to be, I guess, the point I'm going to make in this one. Wow, it's 41 minutes. So the point I want to make in this one is, why does the governing body know that there's only one Bible? Okay. Thank you very much. And it's going deeper. And my only problem with this one was not going as deep as I went. But the next one is going to be in the same direction. Okay? Thank you very much. I'll see you later. Bye-bye. We'll make it. We're doing it.